called in Dallas when Jerry somehow bought the Cowboys out from under far more deep-pocketed investors trying to buy the team at that point, in large part because the former owner, Bum Bright, decided to pick this interloper from Arkansas, this quote-unquote hick from the sticks, because the hick from the sticks wanted to fire Tom Landry, and Bum Bright did not like Tom Landry because he had cold-shouldered him the whole time that Bum had owned the team.
Coach Landry was a god.
Okay, well, he was a god, but he was a arm's length god. You don't come, he wouldn't even give him the time of day, Bum Bright told me for my book, at Christmas parties. Wouldn't acknowledge him. And Bum, when he first met him, tried to actually suggest a play that he might run in a game.
No.
That was the end of that deal, right?
That was a no-no.
Okay, so that's the Jerry Jones that I got to know early on. That was the Jerry who, the day he was allowed to buy the team, had to get on his private jet, fly from Dallas to Austin, Texas, to find Tom Landry, who was on the 14th hole, just playing golf at his country club in Austin, Texas, played at the University of Texas, obviously. They had to pull him off the golf course, and they came in, and he took him into the sales office of the addition that he lived in, and sat him down because it was a Saturday and nobody was in there at the moment, and he sat him down and told him, Coach, I'm moving in a new direction with my guy, Jimmy Johnson. I played with him at the University of Arkansas, blah, blah, blah. And that was Jerry's, like, it was Christmas Eve for Jerry at the press conference that night while Dallas was in mourning over the loss of Tom Landry.
Correct.
So Jerry got off to a horrible start. And yet Jerry's never had any shame at all.
No.
Jerry just like, damn the torpedoes, I'm going forward. In fact, it reminds me a little bit of Giannis shooting air balls from the free throw line or from three. He'll shoot air balls, and it just doesn't bother him a bit. He'll come right down and jack up another one. And maybe it'll go in, and maybe he'll make 12 in a row. Yeah. That's Jerry Jones because he has no shame. If he, as he often says, F's it up, he just throws up his, I'm a billionaire. I got the most valuable team in sports. What do I care? We'll get him again next game. We'll get him tomorrow. We'll get him next year, right? So they just keep doing the same things over and over again. And I was also horrified by comments he made a week ago when he said, you know, I am 78 years of age. He turns 79 on October 13. But the point is, he's saying, I feel great. I'm on top of it. I have no plans to back off. So he is, for the foreseeable future, he is going forward as the owner and the operator of this franchise. So to me, it has become more about Jerry's ego, Jerry promoting Jerry, than winning. That's even, like you always make it about the dollars. Well, he's way past the dollars to me because I don't know how much money you could have. He's like richer than God, as they say, right? He's got money. You want to talk about generational wealth for that clan?
Exactly.
They've got it. And yet, why would he want to sell the Cowboys for billions of dollars? This is his life.
No, he's interwoven into the Cowboys.
He is.
The Cowboys are him, and
he's
the
going to
Cowboys.
keep it in the family forever.
That's never going. Someone couldn't come in and offer Jerry $20 billion to sell the Cowboys because the Cowboys are worth more. It's something that money can't buy. It gives him a level of prominence that he can't get with money. He owns the Cowboys. And Skip, when he's in the meetings, Jerry is not watching film to look at the swing tackle or the third cornerback. That's not what he's doing. He's got notes from that the coaches have taken over the course of the week and passed out to him, and he has people thinking like, oh man, Jerry be knowing. No, he doesn't. Jerry is not studying tape up in his room in his office at night.
No, he's not. And they were talking about that, the kid from Mexico, that Alarcon.
Alarcon.
Trying to make it off the practice squad. Obviously, it was a good part. They have great little inside stories about lesser-known players that probably won't have much to do with the Dallas Cowboys, but that's what makes Hard Knocks Hard Knocks.
Correct.
But the point is, that's who they were evaluating. Jerry's like taking notes on him, like, I got to know this. And he's taking notes so he can have all the information for his 2 radio gigs that he does. So if he gets asked about a player, he's got the inside stuff on him because he heard it from the coaches. Right?
Yes.
And it reminds me of all the way back to that opening night press conference. What was his most infamous line? I'm going to know everything about the Cowboys down to the socks and jocks. He's still all about the socks. He wants to know about the socks and the jocks. And the other story he told me that you'll get a kick out of is how he came to buy the Dallas Cowboys in the first place was he had he went broke in the oil fields, and then he kept plunging, just the way Giannis keeps shooting free throws, right?
Yep.
And he hit one, and then he hit another one, and suddenly he got rich quick again.
Right.
And he got so rich that he got bored. And so he and Steven went to an oil and gas convention in San Diego, of all places. They got bored at the convention, and they said, they got their private jet.
Right.
Let's just go to Cabo, which is not that far. It's just, it's like a 20-minute, 10-minute flight. I don't know what it is.
About an hour.
Yeah, maybe an hour. Okay, so they fly down to Cabo. And the first night, Steven says, let's go to this bar. It's called the Giggling Marlin. And the whole point of the bar for turistas, is that you go and they'll hang you upside down at the bar like a marlin would be, and you can drink all the beer you want if you drink it upside down. So you know Jerry, he's going to participate in that because he's the life of the party. And he drank a little too much, and he was so hungover the next morning, Steven was going on a deep sea fishing expedition way out into the ocean, and Jerry said, there's no way I can handle that. I'm staying back. And he said, I had like one eye open, and I'm reading a 2-day-old edition of the San Diego paper, and I see a note. Dallas Cowboys are for sale, and the brokerage is Salomon Brothers in New York City. He picks up the phone and cold calls Salomon Brothers and says, and this is the quote, "You don't know me, but I'm Jerry Jones, and I'm going to buy the Dallas Cowboys." Well, he pulled it off. I don't know how he pulled it off. He was lucky. He was at the right place at the right time. He presented the right case to Bum Bright. I'm bringing Jimmy Johnson. I don't want Tom Landry going forward. I don't want Tex Schramm going forward. And he pulled it off. And then last night, I'm in awe watching him. He has created an empire.
Yes.
And they even, in the helicopter, they circle the stadium a couple of times.
You heard what he said? He said circle the stadium. He said a pilot circle the stadium.
Well, he knows he's on HBO. He knows he's on Hard Knocks.
I want a basket on what I built.
And they go around, and he says, you know what? It looks even better today than it looked 12 years ago when we opened it. And Steven, of course, says, I believe you're right. Yeah, I believe so. And then we got that zoom in with the drone, and we went through what they ought to rename Jerryville. It's Frisco, Texas, but we had to go down Main Street and then all the way into the facility and all through the locker room and the weight room.
It was unbelievable.
It's just unbelievable. The practice field, the indoor, the outdoor.
Right.
Nobody has a better facility than this.
No.
And it is his kingdom. He is the king of this kingdom. But in the end, it's about him more than it's about winning. And when he says, I would write any size check to win a Super Bowl, well, that's fine, but that's not how you win a Super Bowl. And you brought up Mr. Kraft up in New England. Could Jerry ever go Robert Kraft and just go to the games? Just go to the games.
No.
You can go sit up there and get all the TV close-ups that you want during the game. That's fine.
No.
Because Robert Kraft always gets some shots, some vanity shots, right? But Jerry's incapable of staying out of it.
No.
He did play college football. He was on a national championship team, 1964. Jimmy was there. They were not that close. They roomed together on the road because they were in alphabetical order, Jones and Johnson. and yet, Jerry did do that. But when I've spoken to him for hours about football, he doesn't have a great feel for football.
No, he does not.
For who can play and who can't.
No.
So now he's actually having crucial input into whom they draft, well, in the end, the call on CeeDee Lamb, that was a Jerry call.
Absolutely.
In the end, every call in the draft, especially the first-round pick, that's Jerry's choice.
Right.
He knows what the options are, and he's got all the information.
They've given him all the information. These are the guys that are on our draft board. These are the top 10 guys, top 15 guys on our draft board, and they had all that information. Skip, Jerry ain't watched one film on college. He's not looked at one tape on a free agent. They've handed him this information, and then Jerry's like, well, you know what I like? I like 8. And that's what they do.